Hey guys, today we're going to be making a cartoon turkey. So we're going to start by making a circle. Now your circle should be about the size of, I would say, like a lemon or a golf ball. So try and make it the same size as mine. Look at the paper and make sure that it's filling up the right amount of space. If it's not, then take a second and erase it. After we've got our circle, that's going to be the head of the turkey, you're going to make his beak. So if you start with your pencil right where you see mine, you're going to make a shape that kind of looks like part of a triangle. Also kind of reminds me of a V that's turned sideways. And that's the beak. You're going to complete that beak by making a curved line. So that looks like a backward C from one end to the other end to finish that beak. And to make the beak have an opening where it opens and shuts where they eat, you just make a straight line backwards. Our next step is to add the eyes. And the eyes are just circles. Try and make your circles approximately the same size, one on each side of the beak, a little bit above the beak. And then we're going to add a circle inside of a circle, and that is for the shine, the reflection off of the turkey's eyes. Okay, so now we're going to move on and add the snood. The snood is that part that hangs off the beak of the turkey. I used to call it the gobbler because it like wobbles and gobbles and moves as they go around. And that's that red part. So that's kind of like a raindrop that's hanging from the side of the turkey's beak. It's kind of a squished circle at the top. And then just add a little expression. We're going to add some eyebrows. Our next step is going to be making his body. And his body is going to also be a circle, but it's going to be a circle that's kind of behind the head of the turkey. So you're going to start down below and you're going to go like you're making a circle. A little tiny bit bigger than the head maybe. And then just go towards the other side of the head. So it kind of looks like a C that's connected to the first circle. Okay, underneath his head, there's a little patch of feathers that's colored differently, so that's that little U shape. And next we'll do his wing. So the wing is like the letter C turned on its side. This part is the feathers. So you're going to make, it's almost like the letter M, like the M that you see at McDonald's, and just keep going over and over again. So it's bumpy line, bumpy line, bumpy line. And next we're going to add some more feather details just by making some straight lines from that bumpy line over to the end of the circle. Our next step is to add his toes. This turkey is sitting down on the ground, hiding his legs, kind of taking a break. Maybe he's sitting on his eggs, or she. And for his toes, we're just going to make curved line, but it looks like a W, so they're a W that's got some curved lines to it. There's going to be two for one foot, two for another foot. So on the other side underneath him is another W. Our next step is to do the tail feathers. That's the one thing that he still doesn't have. He has those beautiful tail feathers behind him. So you're going to make a line to the left and a line to the right. The line to the left is a little shorter than the line to the right, so that's closer to us. And then we're going to make a rainbow line that goes up and behind him. So starting at the left side, you're going to make part of the rainbow line under his head. Okay. And then you're going to imagine that the line goes through his head and around. So start where it would start if we really drew that line. Come down and go to the end of that line. If it's not long enough, you can fix that and join it up. So you have that rainbow line that appears to be behind his head all the way around. I'm going to divide up this section to make up the little feather sections. So it's kind of like dividing a pizza, dividing it into equal parts. And then you can divide those equal parts again. Just try to make those sections even. And inside of that section, we're going to add some more feather details. And these are going to be some curved lines now. So imagine that you are writing a letter C inside of each of those little sections that you just divided. These are backwards, but same kind of line curve. And you're going to do two of them. And they're parallel to each other. So one and then one just like it above it. And just keep going all the way around. Add a little bit of detail to those feathers. They have some stripes on them sometimes. Almost done. Just going to add one more detail before we start to do our coloring. And on top of the feathers, I want to make them kind of rounded because when I look at those feathers, I see that the top tip part of it is rounded. So just on every section that you divided earlier, you're just going to make an arch. Over on one side, it kind of looks like a letter B because it's just those same kinds of arches. And then I divided those arches into some other sections to make some more details and feathers. Those lines are where the feathers have those individual little parts, little pieces like hairs. And once you got that last detail, you are done with your drawing. And the next thing is to color it. I am using a combination of markers, crayons, and colored pencils. So you can use whatever you have in your crayon box, your materials to finish the picture. Starting out with brown because when I think of turkeys, I think of brown. I'm going to use a lot of that, a lot of the fall colors, oranges, reds, browns, things like that. Don't forget to also use your black marker to do some outlining. So if you're having trouble seeing where one thing begins and one ends, if you're losing some of your details, you can use your black marker to do some outlining. Okay. Do not draw or color, a background today because next week we're going to be adding details to create a farmyard background. And we're going to also talk about perspective and adding depth to our artwork. So we'll work on that next week for our background. Enjoy the rest of this.